Hello, hello. Anybody out there? Give me a little wave if you're tuning in. Throw us a like or a love or a comment so that we know people are now indeed live with us. This is DWF Live. My name's Audra Santa. Really excited for our special guest today, Angela Amarualik, who is going to be joining us, singing a couple songs, playing some ukulele, and telling us about her experience growing up in the North and what it's meant for her in developing her music over the last few years. I'm really excited to be talking with her. So as you're tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to connect with you, and know that you can put comments in. You can also share this broadcast, start a watch party, and connect with Angela and I as we have this conversation on this beautiful Friday. So I want to tell you a bit about Angela first. I was actually watching one of her music videos that was released just a few weeks ago, I found out. And it's a music video called My Homeland, but in her Inuktitut language. And she uses traditional language plus imagery that represents life in the North. And it's such a powerful video, and I know really exciting for her having just released that. But there's a lot of work that's already gone into her previous album that came out in 2018. And then, of course, her whole development as an artist and as someone who inspires youth and continues to encourage them on their path. So let me tell you a little bit about Angela. Angela Amarualik was born and raised in the tiny community of Igloolik. Like many small communities in Canada's Arctic, Igloolik had many social problems. Angela worked hard to retain a good attitude, improve her circumstances, and be a good role model for the younger kids in her town. Already a community role model, as well as Miss Igloolik, Angela now uses her music to inspire the Nunavut youth and to share Inuit culture with people around the world. Her music has taken her across Canada, and she is finally ready with her first album, which she launched in 2018. Starting off with the ukulele, Angela began writing songs in her native language, Inuktitut. Her musical style is a mix between ancient Inuit melodies and throat singing and the pop music of her childhood heroes, Beatrice Deer and Hilary Duff. In November 2018, she released her self-titled debut album, and it also won some special awards and Indigenous Music Awards, and I believe that it won the best Indigenous language or Francophone album that year. The first single is a pop rock song about missing home. So I'd like to invite Angela and welcome her to this chat.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Oh, look good.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I gave a little bit of an intro of, the bio and a bit of your story, but I know that there's so much more to your story and to who you are. So do you want to tell us a little more to introduce yourself?
The music that I write is mostly about what makes me happy, because I like listening to a lot of sad songs, and I like having something that excites me, and they're mostly about home. My siblings, I have a big family. I'm in Laval right now with my sister. I've been here since January, and I get homesick, but it passes. Right now, back home is spring, and everyone's out fishing, probably. My passion includes one of the biggest. I have many passions, and my biggest ones would be my family and camping.
Oh, wonderful. Tell me more about camping. Where would you normally go?
Especially this time of the year, it's not as cold anymore. We have 24-hour darkness in December and 24-hour daylight in the summer.
Wow.
So this time of the year is perfect. It's not as cold and everyone's fishing. One of my favorite things to do is fishing, but I'm allergic to fish, so I feel like a princess when I get someone to take it off so I can continue fishing.
Oh, so you don't even touch it. You're like, I'm just going to cast the line, bring it in, and then somebody else can deal with.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you are a princess then. Oh, that's awesome. So when you came, so you've been in Quebec since January.
Mhm.
Was that to record, or like were you making the move down to make a change?
I like to visit my sister here. I have a niece who's gonna be singing with me later.
Ah,
I came here after my Nunavik tour in northern Quebec, and I decided to stay for a little bit to work on more songs, and hopefully this summer we can record.
wonderful. And so when you're not in Quebec, where do you call home right now?
I still call my hometown Igloolik. I was born and raised there. I think I will forever call it my home.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, we'd love to hear a song. So will your niece sing on the first one with you?
Let me just call her.
Here, she'll come in. How old is she?
She is 6 years old, turning 7 in July.
Oh, beautiful. So nice to be connected with family at this time, eh?
Yeah.
Have them close.
I'm gonna invite her in.
Yeah, as you invite her in, just so everybody knows, I didn't realize we had an additional guest artist today. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes to sing. I got a microphone here, and she likes to sing my songs to it. Can you say hi? Oh, she's shy. Just say hi at least.
Yeah, just come say hi. Hello. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Very nice to meet you. Are you going to sing a song for us?
Mm.
That would be very nice. I know people would really like to see that.
Mm.
So I'm going to give you the whole screen. I'm going to go away because you don't need to look at me when you're singing. And then you'll be able to sing that song with your auntie. Okay? All right. Over to you, Angela.
You want to sing with me?
Please don't take my sunshine away.
Oh, she's shy.
That was
I was hoping she would sing.
no, the payoff, that last line, I just lived for that. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. That was beautiful. You know, that's a song that I like to sing too. That's when I used to, yeah, especially with kids. Eh? It's great. So, Angela, you've been, I mean, obviously, you know, family being so important, but also connecting with youth. You've been inspiring and really like helping to support youth and from your community and, you know, being really involved in that even before music. So tell me more about that passion and why that's so important to you.
Back home, I I worked as a summer camp counselor, and that's how I started socializing with the younger kids. And then I worked at the community hall, and we had board games or soccer or anything. So I felt really connected with my people. And I think that's why I like to inspire younger ones.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think, yeah, it's like there's something so inspirational about the way you bring stories into your music. Yeah. And especially around things like identity. And you're one of the, few artists that we've had on the DWF live sessions who has, Inuit background and is actually using language and imagery to tell those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it so important, do you feel, to like to bring back your language into song?
Back then we spoke so much more in Inuktitut, and that was my childhood, and I would like to pass it on to my younger siblings. I really enjoyed teaching Inuktitut. My niece, who mostly speaks French too, she speaks a little bit in Inuktitut. We try to let her sing in Inuktitut to at least understand a little bit. Working with the children, I noticed a bit more English speaking, and I want to bring back our language because our grandparents weren't allowed to speak Inuktitut at like residential schools. So I used that to motivate me to teach Inuktitut.
That's beautiful. And that's, when we talk about reconciliation, or like the TRC had so many calls to action and around, education, and how important, it's really just so important that language is honored and brought back in that way. So yeah, it's amazing. Really, really cool. Your music video that I was watching today, My Homeland.
Yeah.
You actually sing almost entirely in Inuktitut. And you are, as you're singing, there's for those who want to check it out, you have English subtitles underneath so we can understand what you're singing.
My friends from the South really appreciated the English subtitle, so I feel like I want to include a little bit in English now because I have friends too that want to understand.
Yeah, well, you're a storyteller, so you bring that across in whatever way. And Can you tell me about what was it like finally getting that first album out, recording that? And I mean, you had this that even I could see from your story as an artist, there were several years of kind of birthing this musical gift, this baby of, what you had been working on. Tell me about the process of how you developed that record and then what it was like letting it out.
I will start off with how I came to be a performer, singer. I was always super shy growing up. I still get shy sometimes. But when I was 3, my dad always watched NHL playoffs, and I got used to the anthems. And I started singing "Oh Canada" at a really young age. And then at 7, my older sister had a karaoke machine, and she would never allow me to touch it. But whenever she went out, I would sneak in and use it. I don't know if it was the rush or like hiding something that got me addicted, but I would sing along to Hillary Duff, and I wanted to play the guitar, but I was too small. My hands couldn't stretch more. And then I came across a ukulele on YouTube, and then I ordered one when I was 13 or 14.
Oh,
And then at 16, I wrote my first song. It took me a year to finish it because I didn't know how to write, or it took me a while to learn the chords, and I just went with the flow with my first song. It's about missing my best friend. Kaila Punga. It has a bit of throat singing in there. And then my homeland, Angekakviga song was submitted to the annual songwriting contest, Inuktitut songwriting contest with Kilaut. So that was my very first time to share my music. But before that, I won a talent show back home. I sang I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. And I got so much support from there. So I wanted to be more on stage.
beautiful. That's so cool.
With my first album, as I mentioned, it's more about what makes me happy. When I went to record in Iqaluit, the capital of Nunavut, and with Thor Simonson, I believe you met him.
I know Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he's watching. Thor, if you are watching, send us a comment so we can say hi.
Thor and Kelly Fraser came to Igloolik to hold workshops, and I opened for them. And then right now I traveled with hitmakers with Kelly and Thor. Our last trip was about last year, and I had amazing memories. It was amazing when I released the album because that was my dream. I felt like that was the biggest accomplishment I ever had. But at the Indigenous Music Awards, I won for Best Indigenous Language or Francophone Album. And that was even more accomplishment. Oh, my niece is
just behind you, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a huge account, like getting the album out and then having others recognize it. It's pretty amazing, isn't it, Elizabeth? We have this Auntie Angela put out her own music. I see you that side. Oh, that's great. Well, do the two of you want to sing us another song? I don't know if she has any more in her repertoire, but we'd love another one from you, Angela.
Ili, you want to sing with me? A Friend Like You. It's your favorite song. Ili, Elizabeth have been singing this song. It's called A Friend Like You. It's for my friends, of course. I miss them. Oh no. distractions.
Super cute. Oh, we have a comment from Adam. Adam says that's good. Thanks, Adam. Anybody else has comments, I can share them with Angela too.
Hi.
Bye.
So along with My Homeland, so the video you just released 3 weeks ago was on the 8th or something of May. Yeah. Tell me about the concept of the video. So you're talking a lot about, My Homeland or why home is important to you, but tell me about the imagery in the video and why you chose to bring that into the production.
As I mentioned, my family and my culture, my language, I hold that close to me. The land, my great-grandmother grew up there, most of the video, because we had 2 places. And it was as I was home. It was the perfect meaning and the perfect time to sing about my home, because my great grandmother, who is still alive, I have her on my music video. They asked me if I want to add anything, and the only thing that came to my mind was to have her there. And she was dancing when I was performing. That really swelled my heart. But the land, one of them, we traveled an hour to 3 hours, 3 hours first, and we camped for 3 days. We did our music video, and I learned to skin a seal. That was one of my highlights with an elder. But yeah, the land is the most important part of the video, and there's people on the ice with skinning seal, or like butchering, but there's blood, which may be too much for some people, but the story for me on that would be like we have to hunt for to eat, because the prices up north is crazy. It's too expensive, and some people can't afford to eat. But with hunting, it's very nutritional too, and Inuit grew up with that food. And
yeah,
I was glad that we can finally talk about that with my music video. And I was afraid that my friends who are vegetarians would be against, but I'm glad they understand.
Well, I think it's been an important issue that's been brought up, not just by yourself, but Kelly Fraser had a song that was about the seal hunt. Tanya Tagaq has also spoken out, very openly about that, because a lot of it is understanding the survival of community and what's happened for many, many, many thousand years, right? For people to survive, and that's part of culture.
Mm-hmm.
I personally found, and again, I encourage people to see the video for themselves. Because so early in the video, there's that imagery. You see the seal and you see the hunt, and there is blood, but it was set. There was something really powerful for me because it was set against your beautiful voice, and this kind of dreamy, really soft music that was holding me in a way where I'm looking at that, and I felt that connection personally, where it helped to tell that story as opposed to people associating that with something negative. So yeah, I thought it was really, really well done.
The video was directed by Zach and co-director was Lucy Dubakachuk. Zacharias Gunug was the director of Atanaltra, the Fast Runner. I believe it was #1 in Canada, which was very cool to me to be working with him. And
Yeah. Well, it was a great collaboration. It turned out really, really well. And I love the freedom that you seem to have in the video. Just the way you're even like standing on the rocks or like the wind blowing through your hair. It's really beautiful.
it
So
was,
congratulations. Sorry, what was that?
it was the moment to feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, with liberation, right? Yeah, it was beautiful to watch. And Sabal agrees with me. Such a beautiful story through music. Really, really is. It's yeah. Yeah, thanks, Sabal. That's so lovely. Now you at the Indigenous Music Awards, you were nominated for 3 awards. You won this one. Wasn't even something you expected, and that was so exciting.
I
Yeah.
was speechless. Like, I had so many things that I wanted to say, but it was too overwhelming to even think. But I wanted to thank, in Igloolik, we have so many musicians, and there's a circus group, there's actors. It's sometimes called the Hollywood of Nunavut. I think it's funny, and but yeah, growing up, they inspired me to talk about anything, because I understood them. And being shy, I couldn't always talk, but I can sing it. On the stage, when I froze, I heard someone say, "Just sing it, just sing what you want to say," and that came through my head. I sing because I can't say anything most of the time. So
Wow.
it was funny. There were people talking in front, so it's like, no, like I'm just frozen up there, but there were actually people talking in front of the audience.
Yeah, that could be distracting. I'm sure as a performer, or if you're having to give a speech, you're like, oh my gosh. And so do you find even in this time, if singing is part of your expression, do you find yourself writing a lot right now in this kind of time of quarantine and the world being very different, or is it more of a recovery for you?
I thought it was the best time to write more songs, but to me, it's like I don't have motivation right now. I mean, I'm 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 having too much fun being free right now that I just want to run off like a little kid. But yeah, I'm still trying to write more songs, hoping to make another album.
Mhm.
I wrote a few songs on my tour. A month and a half, Hyper T and I were in northern Quebec, Nunavik. We were talking about mental health issues and struggles we've been through or we've experienced. There's been quite many, like, there's been some suicides happening in the north, and
Yeah.
we were hoping to help, and we're making a song. Hyper T and I were doing a song, and we're recording soon, hopefully. It's about school perseverance, because it's important to stay in school. Yeah, we did some workshops as well. It was always fun. Sometimes it was heavy, but it was good to know that we were helping at least someone.
I'm sure you're helping many. And sometimes even conversations like this, you never know who might watch and be impacted in a
There's
positive.
there's little to no mental health facilities in Nunavut. I'm not sure about in Nunavik, because I mean that can be the same too, but yeah, it's very hard to get help when we're in remote communities.
Yeah. So many challenges, I think, in northern and remote communities that people in urban centers or in more southern places have no idea. Even as you're talking about food security or not things are too expensive, but also getting that support. Yeah. Yeah.
1/3 children go to school hungry, and I'm glad there's like small breakfasts being served now. But yeah, it's true that kids go to school hungry because it's really kind of expensive.
Yeah. That's really tough. We have a comment here from David saying, "You're doing a great job, Angela."
Oh, hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I'm sure that's, not just your music, not just this interview, but the word that you're spreading and what people are, how people are being impacted. I think bringing even just that awareness and then supporting the youth in that community. It's so cool. Yeah. So you plan to hopefully like record this album. Where would you like to record it? Like your producer, Thor, he's in Ottawa right now. Is that right?
I believe.
Yeah, but he's up north at times as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He has a very nice studio in a purple house, my favorite color.
Oh, nice.
The studio house studio. It's actually my background on my album cover.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna have to check that album cover.
Yeah.
So I'll know where to stalk Thor later if I ever need to record up in Nunavut. I will find the purple house.
You would like it inside.
I'm sure. Oh, that's awesome. Now as you're writing, so you would hopefully record, of course, touring's a bit of a different reality right now, but what would be if all of a sudden the world just changed and went back to what we knew before? Do you have like a dream show you'd like to perform one day? Like a place you'd like to play or a person you'd like to play with?
I feel like my favorite place to perform is back home, but I would like to perform on a big stage, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with my own like produced songs. Thor does an amazing job.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to work with him. He's funny and yeah.
And a big support of Indigenous artists from the North, which is awesome. Yeah. Bill's tuning in too. He says, "Love your music."
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. That's so nice. Love to hear one more song from you, Angela, if you'd like.
Okay. This song is called Upanga. It means spring, because in spring back home, it's finally because it's finally warm, and as mentioned, we go fishing and kids finally playing out because like we don't get frostbites anymore, like little kids playing, and birds are finally here. And there's people dog sledding, which is very it's beautiful to watch. So this is called Spring. I performed this in Indigenous Music Awards with Don Amaro as the guitarist. Sila ni bisu bunga
Yes.
I realized I had the wrong strumming pattern.
No, that was fine. That was fine. That was
More
beautiful.
exciting.
There's a comment here.
Oh, dynamic.
So what were so I could feel the joy, I could feel the lightness of spring in that song. But what were some of the lyrics you were singing there?
It was like the first part was that it's just expressing my feelings that the sun's out and the kids are playing outside. I'm walking outside looking at seeing kids playing outside, birds chirping and the sun shining. And I'm saying that my dad's getting ready to go out hunting, and yeah.
Yeah, great.
I do have translations on my CD cover or something. But yeah,
Awesome.
It's mostly about being happy in the spring.
Beautiful. Well, I'm feeling happy in the spring. I don't know what it's like in Laval right now, but it's sunny in Toronto. It's like 24 today, so.
It was 27 yesterday.
What? Should go work on a tan. I want to get outside in the sunshine. Oh, beautiful. That's so nice. So if people want to follow your music, where can they find you?
I have a Facebook page where you can follow. It's Angela Amarualik. We are working on getting a website soon. It's been in the works, but it's taking a while. But hopefully soon.
That's great. And if you record this album, it would be out sometime next year, perhaps, or yeah, and the timing. Great. Well, I really look forward to discovering more of your music. I'm going to go back and listen to the entirety of your first album. I do encourage everyone, make sure you check out Angela's video. That's very, very cool. It's definitely worth a watch, and follow her on socials. It's been so lovely speaking with you today. Thank you for giving us some thoughts on, your story and perspectives of things from the North that we should know about as well. And yeah, it's been great.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to talk about the issues up north and to sing a little bit.
Yes, and big thanks to your niece as well for singing with us.
Yeah, I will let her know that she did great.
Yeah, and I look forward to hearing the new music. I'll send Thor a note and tell him to make sure he gets that album out a little faster.
Yeah.
All right, all the best to you, Angela. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in. We have another week of DWF Live interviews coming up next week. DJO show, we have Ashebek Rice, who's the author of Moon Crusted Snow. And then we have Classic Roots on Friday. And then we have a very special one on June 1st that we're going to announce. Looking forward to our last kind of run of the DWF Live sessions. Special thanks again to RBC and the Royal Bank Foundation that has supported the Artist Ambassador Program and allowed us to bring these sessions online. It means a lot. We've been getting out these incredible Indigenous artist voices nationally and even internationally, where we've had people tuning in. Here's a bit more information about Angela's music. It can be found on SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube, and other platforms on the internet. Music albums are also available for purchase. And definitely do recommend that at this time. If you have an artist that you'd like to support, a lot of them aren't touring. They aren't able to have income come in in the ways that they might normally if they're out selling merch on tour. So if you do have an artist you'd like to support, check out their Bandcamp or other pages. Thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Okay.